Hey, with free agency set to begin in about 2 weeks, it's time to start making some predictions on where some of these names may go. What is going on, Headliner Nation? Hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Welcome back. Next episode of the Fantasy Headliners, where today we're talking free agency. It's right around the corner, right? March 13th, not that far away. There's going to be some familiar names in new places. In this episode, we're going to be breaking down a few players at a couple positions, trying to figure out where they may land and what their fantasy impact may be if they land there. We're not going to waste a whole lot of time, right? You like the shorter videos? We're going to give you some shorter videos. So without any further ado, let's start breaking down some free agents. All right, first guy we got up there on the list, Nick Foles, quarterback formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles. Now it's already come out there, not going to franchise tag him again, so he is a free agent. He can choose where he wants to go. And a team that's always linked to him or has been here for the past couple months is Jacksonville. Why? Because Blake Bortles sucks, and they really need a quarterback in Jacksonville. But I want to kind of pump the brakes a little bit. I'm not overly excited, even NFL-wise or fantasy-wise, about Nick Foles going to Jacksonville. Yes, I think that may slightly upgrade some of the younger wide receiving weapons that they have there. The Keelan Coles, possibly even DJ Chark, hashtag maybe some more Chark week this year. But outside of that, I'm not overly excited about Foles as a whole for fantasy football. If he goes there, he's not going to be drafted. It's a run-heavy offense, still leaning on Leonard Fournette if he's ever healthy. I'm just not all about Nick Foles. However, I do expect him to land in Jacksonville, and I do expect them to overpay him. He had some late season heroics for the Philadelphia Eagles. That doesn't mean he's ready to be a 16-game starter for one of the worst teams in football in the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm hopping off the bandwagon, but I do think he lands in Jacksonville. All right, next up, quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, formerly of the Tampa Bay Bucks. A few of you guys are probably out there scratching your head right now saying, why are we talking about Ryan Fitzmagic? Well, if you show up to a press conference looking like this, you deserve to be mentioned in this show because that's still freaking awesome. I don't care how long ago it was. And now he's a free agent, and I expect him to go to the Carolina Panthers. There's been rumors that the Colin Kaepernick stuff could come up here in Carolina, and I understand that. We don't know what's going to happen with Cam Newton yet. He's saying he's going to be ready. Management's saying, we're going to play it by ear. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is kind of a very good Band-Aid, if you would, for the Carolina Panthers. He provides a veteran quarterback, able to get some of these young receivers involved. He's a high-powered passing offense type of guy, right? The problem is he throws a lot of interceptions, but hopefully he'd be able to check down to the Christian McCaffreys, the Curtis Samuels, get DJ Moore involved. Maybe they can add some more pieces through free agency. I know that Antonio Brown's name has come up going to the Carolina Panthers. There's options there, and I think Ryan Fitzpatrick would be a good, plan B, if you would, for the Carolina Panthers if Cam Newton is not ready to go. Outside of that, I don't see a whole lot of other options that could really step in and possibly win games here in Carolina. All right, moving on to the running back position. First name up there, the biggest name of the bunch. It's Le'Veon Bell, and right now I have him going to the Houston Texans. I think it just makes a ton of sense. They have over $70 million in cap space available. Lamar Miller is in the last year of his contract. He's kind of been hit or miss. They really have a chance in Houston. If they can build that offensive line through the draft, maybe some other free agents, they can really make a run at things in Houston here pretty soon. You have to take advantage of the J.J. Watts while you still have him. It's a solid defense, and the only lack that they really have on offense is their offensive line. Like I said, if they address that, they add Le'Veon Bell, they're almost instant Super Bowl contenders. They have that much talent. They have the money available, and if Le'Veon Bell wants to win at all, one of his best options out there is the Houston Texans. I would be really surprised if he were to take more money and go to a lesser team. I know the Jets have been mentioned a lot for Le'Veon Bell, but they're not going to go there and instantly win. It really depends what is his motivation. The money, the wins, the rings, we're going to soon find out because depending on the location he chooses, we'll be able to tell pretty quickly what it is he's there for. I have him right now going to the Houston Texans. Like I said, they could be instant Super Bowl contenders with the likes of Le'Veon Bell, Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, solid players on the defensive side of the football. Houston is very intriguing for me, and that's where I have Le'Veon Bell as of right now. Next up is Mark Ingram, formerly of the New Orleans Saints, and he could remain in New Orleans. However, I kind of like the idea of him going to Tampa Bay. Now with Bruce Arians, look what Bruce Arians was able to do with the running back position when he was in Arizona with David Johnson. Now, I'm not saying Mark Ingram is the next David Johnson, but he is able to catch passes out of the backfield. He is kind of one of those bruising backs that he can run up the middle or to the outside. He really fits the style of a Bruce Arians offense. Plus, who else do they really have in Tampa Bay to run the ball? Ronald Jones? I don't think so. Dude sucks. He's not going to make it on the field very much, and Mark Ingram makes a lot of sense. He's a free agent that they can bring in who's a veteran talent that can kind of get that team solidified in the run game. I really like the idea of Mark Ingram in Tampa Bay, and I didn't really think that until Bruce Arians took over. I really think that Tampa Bay has the opportunity to take one of the biggest steps forward from 2018 to 2019. Really like some of these additions, and Mark Ingram would be great in the backfield. All right, next up, Tevin Coleman. I have him going to the New York Football Jets, Jets, Jets. And it's kind of because I have them losing out in the Le'Veon Bell sweepstakes, and I really think the next best option out there is Tevin Coleman. He struggled somewhat in 2018, which now makes him a cheaper option in 2019. Had he gone out there and absolutely killed it last season with the Falcons, his price tag would be through the roof. Now, teams can go after him and get him at a cheaper price because he struggled somewhat in 2018. Now, I do think the Raiders to be involved here. Also, we know they're in the Le'Veon Bell sweepstakes. There's other options out there. Wherever Le'Veon doesn't go, though, I do expect Tevin Coleman to get a lot of looks from those other organizations. He's a solid, capable three-down back. If he gets in the right situation, we'll be able to handle the goal line work, the pass-catching work. We've seen him do all of the above before in Atlanta. He's going to make a lot of money this offseason, and as of right now, I have him going to the Jets. All right, first receiver, we got Golden Tate, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles. And the signs are already starting to point that he may land in New England. He's already come out and said he wants to catch passes from Tom Brady, but what wide receiver really doesn't? I also think that New England recognizes that there's probably not very many years of Tom Brady left, even though it looks like he'll never retire. And why not give him as many weapons as possible to try to get up as many titles as they can before he does finally leave? Golden Tate, being one of the best available free agent wide receivers, really fits that offense well, and they have a need at wide receiver. We still don't have any idea what's going to happen with Gronk. Is he going to retire? Is he going to play? Do we even care at this point? There's a whole lot of questions surrounding that offense, and Golden Tate would be a great weapon for them and Tom Brady. It would be a PPR dream, if you would, with Edelman on one side, Golden Tate on the other side. Lots of opportunity for upside there, and it wouldn't surprise me if anybody can, be a little creative with cap space. It's the New England Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised if they make a run and grab Golden Tate. All right, last wide receiver, we got Michael Crabtree. The recently released from the Baltimore Ravens Michael Crabtree, the hashtag never crabs on this show. And now that he's a free agent, he can go anywhere he wants, and I have him landing in a pretty good situation. The Green Bay Packers are a possibility, and before all the Packers fans get pissed, hear me out for a second. You really need a solid number 2 option. The Jimmy Graham experiment's not going to work out, didn't work out. Davante Adams is arguably one of the best wide receivers in football, and after that, you have a bunch of guys which are kind of like, maybe, off and on. I think Michael Crabtree really feels a need, a red zone threat to try to take some of that pressure off of Davante Adams. One of the reasons that Crabtree has struggled in the past is he's kind of been labeled the guy in his offense. The reason he had success at times in Oakland was because Amari Cooper was more of the guy, and Crabtree was just eating up the touchdowns. It's kind of what I see possibly happening here in Green Bay. It's a fit for them. He's going to be looking for a team he's going to want to win. He's in the second half of his career. I think it kind of fits in Green Bay, and it gives Aaron Rodgers another possible weapon, and he won't be overly expensive because he's struggled the past couple seasons. I don't love this destination, but I think it fills a need for the Green Bay Packers and could be interesting if he lands there. He may have some slight wide receiver 3-4 upside in fantasy next season if he ends up in an offense led by Aaron Rodgers. All right, those were a few of my free agent predictions. It's still a little bit early. Nobody really has any true idea where these names are going to land, but it's fun to talk about. It's fun to play out different scenarios. Maybe you see something differently. By all means, I don't have a crystal ball around here. Nobody can tell you what's going to happen. If you have an opinion on a player of where they may land, I'd like to hear it. Put it down below in the comments section. I think it's fun to talk about these different scenarios and try to figure out which ones would be best. That way, when they happen, we already kind of have an idea of what's going to happen here in 2019. Really appreciate the support. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button for me. That really helps us out here on YouTube. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. There's lots of other content, both football and baseball related on the channel. So make sure you go check that out. Greatly appreciate the support from you guys, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.